back to episode 8 of Flip the Odds. This week we have all the boys here,
like we promised.
And we're super happy for this one. You guys can introduce yourself again if you want.
My name's Justin. I was on last, 2 weeks ago with Sunny, and excited to be back here. Big Niners fan. Yeah.
What's going on? Sunny is also back in the stew. Looking forward to having a good time.
Yeah, I'm Nathan. I'm back in it as well. I was there. What was it? It was like
early on. Yeah, the second episode.
It was like right before MLB playoffs. It was way back, right before the baseball playoffs. Excited to be back.
Yep. All right. So week 11 recap. I went 11 wins and 3 losses. We had the deal with Mintu and Jason last week, and Mintu actually tied me. Knowing nothing about football, she got 11 wins and 3 losses as well. So pretty crazy.
How much do you know about football then?
I know, that's crazy.
You're not flipping the odds.
Denver's not supposed to lose that. So my all-time record now is 70 wins and 46 losses. My 3 locks last week, or my 4 locks, I hit all of them except Denver. In my opinion, a pretty stupid loss. I don't know if you guys saw that. So we were 3-1, and all-time locks are 18 and 12 now. And I will run through all my predictions for this week later. We have every team playing, but we all have our own locks as well. So you want to start us off and go down that way?
Sure. So I have the Bills against the Lions. Pretty straightforward. The Bills are crazy good. Lions suck. And Jared Goff, I don't believe in him. All right, on to the next. And then next I have New England against Minnesota. I think although they had like an upset win against the Jets, I was like, what the heck? We know that punt return. Still think Vikings are in a good spot, even though like the Cowboys like completely humiliated them with like 40-3 score. That honestly like screwed me this week in fantasy. But yeah, I still think they're a solid team this year. And then my third lock, I have the Niners and the Saints. Niners kind of make the Saints like their little toy. Dude. If you remember them last season, George Kittle, like that one play, that's crazy. So even like right now they're on a good like streak with CMC. So kind of just gonna keep going.
Super Bowl favorites right there.
Yeah.
All right, so my first lock is Baltimore at Jacksonville. I just don't think Jacksonville's a good team right now. Trevor Lawrence is a little bit too inconsistent. And even though Baltimore looked really bad this week, I remember watching their game was 3-3 until like the last quarter against Carolina, which shouldn't really be an issue for them. But with Mark Andrews healthy, I think pretty simple win for them. Miami against Houston. Davis Mills is not him anymore, or ever. Right? Yeah. I was about to say.
His neck's getting shorter, dude. I don't know.
Dude, he's having it rough out there. And we know Miami's kind of on a roll, so that should be very simple. And the most obvious one, I think, is KC against the Rams. The Rams just suck right now. Stafford looked good for the first quarter and then got hurt, obviously. I don't think they're doing much without Cooper Kupp. So those are 3. And I'm pretty sure, like, none of those get upset at all.
Why do you think the Rams are doing so bad?
Well, I don't know, dude. I think when Stafford and Kupp are healthy, it's just he's only looking Kupp's way. Like, he's got to look elsewhere, and the run game isn't there yet. So
Is their O-line banged up right now?
I don't know. I don't follow around it. They're so boring to watch.
Yeah, pretty fast.
I'll leave.
Alright, I also had Buffalo and Baltimore, so I ain't gonna go into that one. But I had Philly over Green Bay. I think that's just gonna be total demolition. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna get absolutely destroyed. This guy's an Aaron Rodgers fan, so sorry, but there's no shot.
Not a chance.
Yeah, I think the one I feel like you guys kind of missed the Titans over Cincy. I think is my lock of the week.
No, those are good.
Yeah, one of the Titans like 7-1 in their last 8.
Over Cincy?
Yeah,
you were wrong.
Come on now.
Hell on, dude. No, 7-1 in their last 8. I think they're on a roll.
Lock,
huh?
That's a lock.
That's my lock for the week. I gotta do something different. I mean, these are like the easy locks of the
I'm
week.
trying to go different too.
Yeah, and then I think Vikings over Pats too. Vikings at home, they're kind of clicking in some ways. Pats are like, I don't know, up and down. I'm not too high on them.
Defense is playing really well.
Yeah, so I'm taking Vikings and then Chiefs over Rams. I think is the other easy.
I think Chiefs over Rams should be on everybody's list, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, and then we all have upsets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have? You want to start here?
Yeah. So I have my first one is I think the Browns are going to beat the Bucks. Honestly, this season has not been looking good for Tom Brady and the whole Bucs team. And Jacoby Brissett had a good game. I relate everything back to fantasy that he's showing. So I think we got high hopes. And Deshaun Watson's coming back, so I don't even know if he's gonna be able to like start right off the bat because of this, but we'll see. And then my next one, I have Raiders beating the Seahawks, and Raiders had just beat who was it? Who did they last play again? Yeah, who did they? The Raiders beat the Broncos.
So sad.
Pat Surtain got cooked.
Yeah, he did. That was
cooked.
bad.
Yeah.
When I saw the ball going to Devontae, I was like, God damn it. Like, that's PSG right there.
He was open by like 20 yards. So
Yeah,
like, come on.
not even close.
Mhm. So I think they have a good shot to beat the Seahawks, with the momentum. And Seahawks are not at the top of the NFC West anymore, so maybe the tide's changing.
Gotcha. All right, I have Chicago and New York. The Jets, I don't know. We'll talk about it later, but there's a whole lot of drama with that, obviously. Like, their defense did hella well. Zach Wilson doesn't think it's his fault. They just suck. I don't think Chicago's that good, but they're putting up points, so that's really what you got to do. And, as much as I hate to admit it, like, I don't think they should be, like, underdogs on this one. I think they should be heavy favorites.
Sauce Gardner on the Jets, though.
That's true. I mean, it's not like he throws, Justin Field throws anyways.
True. Two running backs.
Yeah. And then my second one is the Giants at Dallas. Dallas is coming off pretty solid weeks, but I think, the Giants played very poorly against a pretty weak Detroit defense. So, if there's a chance they bounce back, it would be against Dallas.
That's fair. For me, I'm taking the Browns over the Bucks. You know what I mean? I'm a big Daddy Chubb fan.
Daddy Chubb.
So I think Nicholas Chubb is going to run all over the Bucs defense. Yeah, I know they're good, but I think Amari Cooper's playing really well. Jacoby Brissett's playing well, and I think the whole offense is just gonna keep clicking. And then this has an asterisk on it, but depending on Justin Fields' injury status, I'll take Chicago over the Jets. But the Jets are just terrible. They had was it 9 yards
in
per second?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
They're averaging like 2 inches per
Yeah,
snap. So
yeah.
like, let's go.
Did you see Zach Wilson's interview? The interviewer was like, do you feel like you let down your defense?
No. So
The
fast.
audacity. The audacity.
Dude, if you're
The
putting up...
teammate grade goes down.
I think it was so sad to watch. Like, it was... At one point, it was like 5 3-and-outs in a row. I was like, you're going nowhere, bro. You might as well just keep running the ball.
Yeah.
I feel like football this past weekend was just like not that fun.
Yeah, it was hella boring. Also, like, fantasy-wise, it was pretty weird.
Yeah, I feel like
That's why I want to go
low
full.
scores all around. Low
It
scores
was
all
pretty
around.
weird. This guy
This
won.
guy got
this guy
the first-
won.
Second of the year, coming back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I was following along similar lines. I think Bears over Jets. I think Bears are more legit than people think when they're healthy. Justin Fields, I think, is playing his best that we've seen him play. Then obviously, my next upset of the week might be a little shock, but I'm gonna take Aaron Rodgers on Sunday night. I think I do think the Packers are getting into a better spot than they have been. I think I still last week's loss to the Titans. I still put that on Rodgers in my opinion. I think I've never seen Rodgers miss throws that when they're in the crunch time. It's usually the ball is there, but the receiver's not there, defender's there, something like that. But this time it was receiver's wide open, misses Sammy Watkins on his deep, it was a 3rd and 15, he missed him, missed Lazard on cross routes too. I was just kind of I've just never seen him do that. So I feel like if he comes back strong, I feel like it could be more of a game than people are going to make it out to be. But it's in Philly. I think it would be a huge upset. I think that would be wow. That'd be we need Devontae back, but I think it's still a better game than people could see that to be. So
Do you think there's a certain factor that led to him having a bad game?
I think it's just frustration too, and lack of confidence. Again, as much as people love to say that Rodgers is best in the cold, he sucks in the cold. I'll keep saying that. Look at him in the playoffs whenever it's super super cold. But I think a lot of it's just frustration, and they're young receivers still, and when your oldest receiver is Allen Lazard, who's been here for 5 years, and coming out from not having Devontae. Christian Watson, he's been killing it. He's his new favorite child, but I think they're just not on the same page.
Yeah.
And the run game is just nowhere right now.
They're They're
Aaron
so
Jones
Like
not playing.
Aaron Jones, yeah.
Well, before the season, it was supposed to be Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon as like RB1 and RB1, like RB1A, RB1B.
Yeah.
Like, and now like AJ Dillon's not even in there. But yeah, okay, so that's all the upsets we got, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna run through real quick all the games, and then we're gonna talk about another thing that I had planned for you guys. So I have Buffalo beating Detroit. Pretty simple. Unless Josh Allen doesn't play, but I think
Even without him, I think they still good. I think they still good.
That defense is still.
all
They're
right.
playing in Detroit back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, because it got snowed out, right?
Mm.
I have the Giants against Dallas. I think Vikings beat New England. Tampa Bay beats Cleveland. Cincy beats Tennessee. Miami beats Houston. Chicago beats the Jets. Also kind of scared if Justin Fields not there, but I don't think Zach Wilson wins anyways.
Yeah.
I actually think the Commanders beat the Falcons. Taylor Heineke's playing
Really well.
pretty damn good.
Him and Terry got a fantastic
For
finish.
real. Obviously, I'm gonna say Denver beats Carolina. If we lose that game,
I think it's actually
Yeah,
a possible
let's go.
loss, dude.
Dude.
I think that's a possible loss.
holy,
If they lose, do you think coach is out?
I've been wanting him out. Like, I don't know. Nathaniel Hackett's been like very weird with play calls here and there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's restricting Russell Wilson or trying to change his play style, but it's not working. Clearly, something's got to change. Baltimore beats Jacksonville. The Chargers beat Arizona. I don't know. Chargers kind of whatever.
No, Chargers should be in Arizona. Arizona looked so bad yesterday.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah, it was
Maybe
pretty,
it's just
pretty
the
tough.
Mexican environment. They weren't ready for that. I don't know.
A lot of rain too, but
Yeah.
it's a place to the Niners' favorite, but they still look terrible.
Yeah. There's a lot of Niners fans there.
Or-
I agree with Justin. I think Seattle beats the Raiders. KC beats the Rams, obviously.
I think I said the opposite.
At least the opposite. Then I disagree with you.
Okay.
Well, you think the Raiders win?
Yeah.
Why?
I think Seattle's playing. I don't know.
Devontae Adams, man, don't bet against him.
Okay, and I said KC beats the Rams. The Niners beat the Saints. Even though I really like the Saints right now, I think the Niners are playing out of their mind. Philly beats Green Bay, and Indy beats Pittsburgh. Because Indy played pretty well against, I'd say, a pretty good Philadelphia team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Jeff Saturday's like turning tides for him?
Actually, yeah. Like I think they're playing a lot better. I think he's just incorporating more like of the run game and stuff. But okay, I have a new thing that I wanted to do with you guys. A couple just quick things. You guys just tell me if they're overrated, properly rated, or underrated. As a whole, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Properly rated.
Yeah, I think properly.
I would say properly rated.
I say overrated. New York Giants.
Underrated.
After this week, you think underrated? Yeah. Okay. They lost to Detroit.
Still.
Okay.
I think they're. I mean, I'd say properly rated. I'd say properly rated, edging towards overrated.
Okay.
I'm about the same. I think they're probably properly rated right
Yeah.
now.
I'm with Faber on this one. I think if anything, they're maybe slightly overrated. The Lions.
Maybe those guys are underrated.
I actually like the Lions. You know, I actually really like that team.
I did too.
Like, when they can get Jamal Williams going in the run game,
Ooh.
they're pretty dangerous.
It's so frustrating to like be an owner of Amon-Ra right now. Every time the ball goes in, it's just Jamal Williams.
Yeah. So I mean, he's what like I've seen him like in weeks because I have him on my fantasy team. It's like 2 touchdowns, like 3 touchdowns. I'm like, well, he just like gets them in bunches. But I would say they're underrated. I could say.
Yeah, I had high hopes for Detroit coming into this year.
Yeah.
Like at least they have 3 wins now.
Yeah.
2.
Okay, to be fair though, I was always like I never hated on them. I always thought they're a pretty good team because I'm a big fan of Goff.
Yeah.
But last year they had some pretty unfortunate wins or like losses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like they're doing pretty well this year. I think
Sure.
they're underrated.
Yeah, and I've been high on Jamal Williams. I drafted him in every possible league. So
Why?
I just knew he was going to be a goal line back.
Yeah, he was great.
He's also
he was
funny.
I
as
love
a
him on
guy.
the Packers.
Yeah.
I have him in our league though. Yeah.
Yeah,
You saw that speech he did?
Yeah,
no,
before.
he's great.
Almost like crying. Good
And the
passion.
coaches.
That's a Justin
Yeah,
Sales speech right there.
Coach
Something like
fire
that.
too.
Oh, yeah.
The New York Jets.
Joe, in this.
Overrated.
Overrated, I have to say as well.
I think overrated.
After
I would say overrated because I have no faith with them against like strong competition.
their defense is good. The offense is terrible.
Facts. Andy Dalton.
He did take the starting
Red
job.
rifle, baby. Underrated. Underrated.
I would say properly rated.
I think
Because he did get the starting job, but I don't think he's like spectacular.
yeah, I'd agree with that. You're also not taking the starting job from like an amazing quarterback. Like Jameis is not bad,
Yeah.
He wasn't playing bad at all. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
properly.
I was gonna say, did you see what James
Yeah.
Winston say? He was kind of mad.
I would agree with that though. Like he wasn't playing terribly where you have to replace him.
But since when is it a policy that if you
That's
get
true.
hurt, you get your spot back? That's not
Like
right.
if he's playing better than you, play the guy who's playing better.
Okay,
Yeah.
but like before this week, I'm starting James Winston again. Like I think
If Dalton had a bad week,
yeah,
then
he had a great
Winston's
week
back.
this week though. So I'd say properly leaning towards a little
I have him on my list.
overrated. But and then did you say what?
Andy Dalton, I think he's underrated.
Underrated. Okay.
He was great on the he's never been like terrible in his career. He's just like a
Since-
really, really good backup to have for your team, I think.
Cincinnati was good versus no O-line.
Yeah.
Dude, they lost like every playoff game, right?
Yeah. He would make it to the playoffs like every year and like lose.
Okay. Last one. Zach Wilson.
Dude,
What a stinker, bro.
I think he's properly rated because people know he sucks.
Like yeah.
No, they don't. Like
Really?
people in New York are like hell bent on him,
Really?
bro. And I don't know why the coach like feels like he has to play Zach Wilson. Like
Yeah, I
guess
go
they could've
anyone
been-
else.
Yeah.
Who's
Joe
their
Flacco.
leader?
Like,
Oh, Joe
Yeah,
Flacco.
he's-
yeah, okay. In that case, then he's overrated.
I think overrated for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Milf
I thought he was like
Milf
I thought he's been overrated since he was drafted. Like I think he was drafted way too high for the quality of quarterbacks that were in that draft. I think he
I
was.
don't know. Yeah, I've never been too big a fan. Okay, and then some topics before we hop into power rankings later. I don't know if you guys heard, but Melvin Gordon got released yesterday. Thoughts? I mean, personally, like I'm a big fan, and I love watching him play. But it was so hard to watch. Like he lost us the first game for the Raiders with that fumble, and then he fumbled again this weekend. And he's been having a lot of like tough games where he just can't secure the ball, right? So like obviously I knew the time was gonna come. He was just there for a little bit longer because injuries to the team. Javonte Williams was out for the entire season. But what do you think? Do you think it's a move, or you should have kept him a little longer?
I think it makes sense. Like the trade deadline passed, right? He's not producing. They have who's it? Latavius Murray.
Yeah.
Latavius Murray, and he's playing well.
Yeah, he's good. So I think it's the right call.
Yeah, I think I've loved him since he was at Wisconsin and he was on the Chargers and all that. Like I thought he's been like a great piece, and I think he'd be a great guy in the locker room. But like if he's not producing on the field, like they need to switch things up. Like it's not. I don't think it's a terrible move. I think he's not really like in the peak of his career anymore. Like he's not like someone that you're like he's just needs to fix this one thing and then he'll be take your team to new heights. I think it literally is like I think he literally is just I don't know. I think it's just a little like he's just past his prime and like not gonna help him with that. I don't think he's gonna contribute that much for like you. I got you, Dustin. Don't worry.
Wait.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean,
I was just saying, like, what if they just benched him?
That's what I was thinking, because like obviously last year he's a good like 1-2 punch type of running back.
What's his salary like?
I don't know. I didn't take too much of it.
Oh, I guess that's.
that could be. But no, I feel like ever since he sat out with those contract negotiations, ever since that he's been like shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been rough. I mean, I think like he had a solid year last year. Obviously he can't be that RB1 on any team right now, but and then I guess going off your salary talks, like, is it time to say Russell Wilson was a waste of money yet?
I still feel like no. I mean, I don't think it's like I would say a waste of money. Like who would they have instead at their quarterback position? Like, I mean, I still think Wilson's got a lot more potential in the tank. It's still adjusting to a whole new NFL team after you've been with the same team your entire career. I feel like it takes some time.
And a new coach.
Yeah, and a new coach. Like it's a lot of adjustment. I'd say if we're at this point next season and they're still in the same spot, then I would consider saying it a waste of money. But give them a season, give them another off season, then kind of see where they go.
I'd agree with that.
I think he needs to like adjust to the scheme and the plays better. It's just
Also,
not-
just
That's all coaching though.
Yeah. You also don't see him like, last year or I guess not just last year, when he was on the Seahawks, like they kind of like they ran some RPOs sometimes where he could run, and if his first, second, third option not available, like he's scrambling, right? He doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah,
like
just sitting there.
he's okay, I'm gonna take a sack. Like I don't know why. Like I'm screaming at the TV, like can you move? It's so annoying, but
Is he like too old now?
I don't know. He's not that like
No
he's
way,
not that
like,
bad because
He can't deteriorate
he's
right?
so
Like,
young.
at the end of the year, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. But I also think you give him some time. I think right now, if you have to make a change, I'm changing the coaching situation.
Yeah.
I think Hackett's a good coach. Like, maybe I don't know. Like, I mean, this is our first time seeing him like that, struggling in this way. But I don't know. I think Russ Wilson, like, it's not like he doesn't have any weapons. He has Judy when he comes back healthy. Sutton's been there. Dulcich.
KJ Hamler.
Yeah. And so I would change coaching first.
Oh, yeah.
And then is it time for Tony Pollard to be an RB1?
Yeah.
For sure, dude. I have Zeke, and this dude's gonna kill him my fantasy team. So
what Zeke get you last week? Like 2?
Wait, no,
actually,
he had 2 tutties last week.
Oh,
only because of touchdowns he does
yeah.
good. But that dude's so efficient. It's like awesome to see.
He gets a lot of yards.
Yeah.
Do you think it's time for him to be the RB1 on Dallas, or come free agency, like when he's able to, he should leave and
I feel like
he'll be offered?
I feel like on Dallas, if they can continue running a similar scheme like the Packers do, like a Jones, like you just
Packers
keep.
got no scheme right now.
I
I think
but-
it's more of a Lions scheme with like DeAndre Swift and
and Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
I think it's like you just gotta. What the thing you gotta do is keep your like big dudes fresh until like fourth quarter, and then you can just overrun some teams' defensive line when they're dead tired. Like it is. I would say he could be RB1 on their team. I mean, he could try to test free agency. He'll probably get offered and stuff.
There's a lot of teams who can use one though.
Yeah.
Like if the first one that comes to mind, fucking Rams. Like they need to figure out what's going on with them because they have too many like people that they're trying to choose from right now.
Well, no, they waived Darrell Henderson.
They did.
Yeah.
Like
like an
yeah,
hour
they
ago.
can make it. Oh shoot, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, Darrell Henderson's gone. But I thought they were gonna get rid of Cam Akers.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
So I don't know what's going on.
Like,
that's shocking to me.
He's like choosing not to
Yeah,
play.
or like he I think he came
played
out and
last
said that he didn't like what they were using him for,
Yeah.
like how they were using him.
He had like 11 or something carries last game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. Maybe not. Maybe the Rams obviously wasn't the best option because they do have weapons, but I think there's a lot of teams where, I don't know. Like every team has like a good one. I mean, like you think of teams who are really really slacking right now. They all have solid running backs, but I think Tony Pollard is like better than a solid amount.
Like I think he'd be really good on the Chiefs.
That's fair.
Aren't the Chiefs doing like 3 running backs right now?
Yeah, they have Isaiah Pacheco right now.
Every player.
And Clyde.
And Gerrit McKinnon.
CEH is not even in that like big of a role right now. I know he played hella well the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on the bench.
He's
fantasy and he's got sub 10. Like
Remember when I tried to trade for him?
I do.
And you're like, nah, you're making my team work. Just trying to help you out.
All right, last 3. These are gonna be teams, and then diving into a little bit about what they are. First one's the New York Jets, and thoughts on them. Zach Wilson, he doesn't want to take the blame for the loss, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows it was his fault. Maybe not just his fault, but I think the offense let him down.
A big part of that, though.
Yeah.
I feel like their defense, solid, but when your quarterback, the leader of the team, is like acting like this, it kind of like ruins the dynamic. I feel like, and they might need to like see if Joe Flacco can do something.
It shows how much they need Brees Hall, huh?
Yeah,
They're just a struggling team. I mean, it's kind of hard to put it. Like they had some hope at the beginning of the season, and AFC is just so stacked. Like you see, like 6 seed is like their records and like the strong teams. It's a scary. They're going to go nowhere in the AFC. So
like they beat the Bills.
Yeah,
but then it's just the ups and downs.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be
super good.
It's gotta be like frustrating because like the only touchdown of the game was that punt return, right?
Yeah,
that's special team. So the defense has to be pissed.
That game was like you at that point you're the Jets. You're like, okay, good job. Like we're gonna OT, right? You got to tackle one dude and
your defense does everything it needs to do.
No, Jets defense has like a perfect game.
Yeah.
How do we feel about James Robinson, bro? He got traded there.
I haven't really been keeping up on him.
I think like the whole offense is like slacking right now. Like he's not bad, but I don't know. I think the root of the problem is Zach Wilson because he does not look good. Maybe the Patriots defense will did something, but I don't know. KC. So just real quick, do you guys think they are far front runners to win the Super Bowl?
KC?
I don't say
I
far.
wouldn't say far.
Dude, they look like they're taking. Okay, I guess because I mean, I personally don't think the Niners are there yet. Like I'd still say the Niners are pretty.
Yeah, maybe not right now.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
Late game, once you get better chemistry, like the offensive weapons they have, plus with the defense, if it's like healthy.
Yeah.
I don't see a team that's like more stacked than them. Maybe KC's offense better, but
Then who?
The Niners.
I think KC just does whatever they want whenever they want. Like on offense, it doesn't look hard for them at all. Like when I saw how much time they had left against the Chargers, they won. Like you gave Patrick Mahomes way too much time, especially Kelsey catching 3 TDs in one game.
Yeah. Like I would just say KC's always a team that you're just like they're never an underdog, they're never like a distant, like even if they can lose some pieces and still be like a very big contender. But I wouldn't put them as like a far front runner because I feel like Buffalo will still give them a run for their money. I mean you just have like
there's
you
a
can
lot
even
of
say you can even say from the NFC side, who knows how that rest of the season shapes up. I mean all it takes is like you hate to say it, but like one injury can knock out some teams, or it's like weather. Like football's 1 week. Like it's not like a series. Like I put KC in a series against anybody, they're easily gonna win. But like one game situation, who knows? Who knows what happens? So
that's like the Bills game.
And then the Commanders, last one. Do you guys think they're legitimate playoff contenders with Heineke?
I do like that running back duo they have. Gibson's gonna get a lot of the catches.
Oh my!
And Brian Robinson, dude, he's like a tank going into like the pushing through the defensive line. So I feel like good defense, pretty good too.
I would say with how weak the NFC is, I feel like they could sneak in.
Yeah, like I was gonna say AFC, I'd probably say no. Yeah. But NFC at this point, I would say they're in. And then I'll go through my power rankings and then we'll go down again. Right. KC, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Cincy, Miami, and then I have the Niners. Obviously, I think they're a pretty good team. Everything's really clicking for them, but I don't know. Give it 2 more wins are much higher, and then I rounded out with Dallas, Minnesota, and then the New York Giants.
No way you don't have Tennessee anywhere on there.
No,
I don't either.
I don't like. I still don't think they're that good.
Is it because of their quarterback, or what do you think?
Well, if they have Malik Willis, they're a bottom 3 team. But if they have, maybe that's an exaggeration. But with
Tannehill,
I don't know, they're just not that good.
Look at
Tannehill's not a bum.
He's definitely not a bum, but I'm taking like the way the Giants are playing so far. Like they fell a lot, right?
I mean, their wins are like not good. like just look at this.
A win's a win in the NFL.
They beat the Raiders. They beat the Colts, the Commanders with Carson Wentz.
They beat the Colts again. A very good Raiders team at this time.
Yeah, exactly. Texans. And Broncos, like
teams, honestly.
And Packers.
I mean, they don't choose their schedule.
But they're not beating the
they're
good
beating
teams.
bottom tier teams.
Okay, like their 3 losses were their first 2 of the season.
And the Chiefs. You can't beat the Chiefs. Like if you put up a better fight, then maybe.
I mean,
they were close.
You still think being like 7-1 in your last 8 games doesn't make you a top 10 team in the league?
I don't know.
It depends on who you're playing.
You do have to consider the strength of the schedule.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
I mean, okay, maybe I have them like 13, 14, like maybe
right
close.
outside top 10. Sure.
But I don't know, sneaking in there is a little close for me. You wanna go?
Yeah. So I have the Chiefs at 1, and then Eagles, Bills, Cowboys. They rose a lot because of their like dominating win over the Vikings. And then Niners moving up 2, crazy win over the Cardinals. Dolphins, Vikings, Bengals, and I have the Titans at 9. I'm on Nathan's side a little bit here. I think they are a good team. I think it was similar to, I forgot who it was back then, but like they had an easy schedule and they still ended up being a good team. But Ravens at 10, I think they just got like DeMarcus Robinson, like they're doing really good with him. And I know they had like a bad wide receiver like situation, so this could be like a nice sign that Lamar's getting like good chemistry with someone. And yeah, good defense.
Yeah.
All right. I got the first 3 as you, Ethan. So I got Kansas City, Buffalo, Philly.
Nice.
And then I go Dallas. I think after that win, they're up there now with that defense. I got 49ers at 5th spot, Vikings at 6, Miami, Baltimore, Cincy, and the Giants. Giants, I know, like, I don't know, I feel like they haven't been playing as well last couple weeks, but I think they're still kind of top 10.
Yeah. I easy start Chiefs, then I go Bills after that. I think Eagles, Cowboys. I still put the Niners in 5. For me, they rose a lot. Like they were out of the top like 10, or I mean like they were right on the edge of the top 10 for me last week, and I think they're just kind of coming into their own a lot more. And like they're a scary team for me. And like I think Garoppolo played well last night, and like
really well.
They're just across the board. It's hard to guard them, and like I trust their coaching staff so much. They're a scary team for me. I think there, and then after that, I'm going Tennessee 6. After that, Miami, and then I'm going Vikings after that, because I think for me, the Vikings were like a top 4 team, and like, so you can't lose to the Cowboys that bad. I think they're a scary team still. I still think Vikings could go far. I think they're an easy win for the NFC North for them. Kind of get them on the road and all that. They get a little shakier, but who knows? I think then after that, I think I rounded out with Cincy in 10. So
Okay. And then now we're going into our favorite topic, fantasy football, right?
let's go.
The 3 people before we hop into who we want to pick up on the waiver wire. Reliable or not reliable? One answer. One word answer. Sunjay Arattukulum. 30.2 fantasy points in our league last week.
You got 30 points?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say unreliable. That's like a boom, dude.
Reliable because of injury.
Okay, so obviously by injury you mean if Mixon's out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say he's a bye week starter. Like he's a dude that you put in. Like I'd say maybe like 3.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, you're good. I think I would take him if Mixon's out. You put him at the flex, or if you need a running back.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, nah.
O-line like terrible too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
But Joe Burrow's spreading the ball well too.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, Allen Robinson,
Unreliable.
14.7 points.
The whole range is underwhelming.
I agree, not reliable, especially with Stafford potentially out.
Yeah.
Treylon Burks, 18 points.
Unreliable.
You see, I don't even know who he is.
He's on
Tennessee.
He's on the Titans.
Tennessee? I'll say unreliable.
Okay.
I'll go the same.
I'd say unreliable because I think Tennessee is just hell bent on their running.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for having an insane running back in Derrick Henry, maybe.
But somewhere else he could be an absolute stud.
Facts.
Absolute stud.
Have you seen Derrick Henry's interview with Taylor Rooks?
No,
There's a lot of memes about it, like how he's they're always talking about him like keeping composure with her because she's like attractive. Or whatever.
This guy. All right, waiver wires.
She's like, how you stiff arm? Is it like this?
All right. My first waiver wire pickup is Isaiah Pacheco. He led the team in rushes by a long shot last week, and then, on just 15 carries, he had 107 yards. So you don't have to start him. Obviously, there's much better in terms of RB1s, but if you need someone for the flex and you don't have a wide receiver, maybe he's a move. I guess I'll just say my other one, and we'll just go 2 at a time. Okay. I have Darius Slayton. He's only rostered in 21.5% of leagues, so pretty weird considering he's putting up like points in the solid teens the past 4 games. And then, at least when I watched him this weekend, like Daniel Jones looks like he's like kind of coming into his own, playing a little bit more comfortably. So if he does look his way a little bit more, maybe you can start him in a couple weeks.
Danny Dimes. Okay, so I had talked about this wide receiver at first, DeMarcus Robinson. I think he's building good rapport with Lamar, and they need wide receiver help there, so that's good to see. And then this one, I don't think we give these positions. This position enough shine, dude.
I saw on your waiver wire.
We don't give this position enough shine, dude. My guy Brett Maher, dude. Holy, he got like 20 points, dude. That's a sleeper move for a kicker.
You see Tyler Bass?
You told me.
He led my team in points, bro.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's like when Goskowski was back on the Patriots. In the Patriots prime, like he was the guy you needed right there.
Butker too back then, and like
Butker's letting him down.
Young Ho, dude.
Yeah.
He dropped him, but this season not too.
Because he's had some shitters in like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah, but kickers, they're underrated.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you guys.
Alright, I'm going Deshaun Watson at QB. He should be playing in I think like 2 weeks. He's eligible next week, week 13, to start playing again. I think, especially fantasy wise, quarterbacks there's like a very small amount of quarterbacks who are true like studs.
Yeah.
And I think Deshaun Watson, even though he's even though this dude this guy, he can ball, And with Amari there, with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, I think they can be a really good offense.
Yeah.
I saw your note. Man, I was scrolling through. I was like, oh, nobody has like any like sub comments.
And then my second waiver wire pickup is Juwan Johnson, New Orleans tight end. He's been a red zone monster with Andy Dalton.
He's like some.
Yeah. So past 4 games, he had 4 games ago. Or is it 3? he had 2 touchdowns, then none, but then back-to-back touchdowns in the last 2 games as well. He's playing really well, so I think if he's available, that's a for sure pickup.
Yeah. I mean, do you consider Christian Watson a waiver wire pickup?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, at this point,
Last week for sure. This week he might be.
that's
better.
true.
Yeah.
He did drop 30, right? So
yeah. I think. I mean, what does he have? Three touchdowns 2 weeks ago. 2 touchdowns this past week. I think he's definitely Rodgers is like a pretty prime target. And you know he's coming a lot more confident. Like a lot of high expectations for him early in the season. Dropped kind of big ones week 1 and some injury issues and all that. But I think he's definitely looking like when you're in Rodgers' favorite zone, you're gonna get him when he's in the red zone. I think I think Andy Dalton would be stretched to say he's a waiver wire pickup, but with how he's playing, if he keeps the starting job, I put him there. So
yeah.
Wait, where did Christian Watson come from? Like from that 30-point game? Was he always on the team? I don't.
No, yeah,
he was our
Rookie, right?
round 1.
Oh,
he's
second round,
very high.
Second round, I think.
Everybody's been pretty high on him.
Gotcha. Was this his first good game though, or was
Second. He had one before.
Yeah, so he was like he had 0 touchdowns and now he's like rookie receiver.
5 in the last 2 games.
Leaving the rookies.
Yeah,
So
I've I'll just go off that. So for my sleepers to start this week, I have Christian Watson. He has had 2 straight games of 6 or more targets, right? So it looks like he's being trusted more by Aaron Rodgers. 5 touchdowns, as we said, and it's kind of showing that we give it a couple more games, like he's gonna be Rodgers' favorite, and he needs one right now because. Not saying Lazard's not a good receiver, but with all the whole team, they don't seem happy, right? And when Aaron Rodgers overthrows or when he drops a pass, you could tell it's playing on Lazard a lot. Yeah. So maybe that plays into why Aaron Rodgers will target Watson a little bit more, but in the red zone it seems like he really likes him.
Yeah.
So I would go with him, and then second, Latavius Murray, only because he's hard carrying the run game for Denver right now. Melvin Gordon released pretty much puts him at the RB1, and I don't know, we can't really count as a fan, we can't really count on Russell Wilson to give us any production in the red zone, right? So when we do have a touchdown, it's usually rushing, but we don't get touchdowns often. So as hard as that is to say,
How old is Latavius Murray now?
Old.
He's pretty old, but he's playing well.
Yeah, it's crazy. You see running backs, they don't last too long, but this guy's been in the league.
He's always the backup that always takes over RB1 spot.
Frank Gore, Justin, please.
True.
Yeah, Frank Gore.
That man's probably still gonna come back.
Yeah.
He'll be by
boxing right now, no?
Yeah, he is. But I have Jimmy G. I think last week I also had him, but coming off a 4 touchdown game and he has such a high floor for fantasy points, I don't think he's ever dropped below 15 since he's starting the season. So pretty good position. And I have Jeff Wilson, another former 49er. He's on the Dolphins now with Raheem Mostert, and they're kind of splitting it, but this dude's been balling for the past 2 games that he's been on the Dolphins, and I don't think it's going to stop.
There. I'm going Jacoby Myers, New England wide receiver. He's actually, I think he's had low-key just a sleeper year in general. They are playing the Vikings this week, so.
I have him in one of my other leagues, and I just started him this week.
Yeah.
He's the type of wide receiver Amon-Ra was for me last year. I picked up Amon-Ra towards the end of the year, and then it's okay, they're playing well. Should I start them? I was never too high on him because I was okay, maybe when I do start him, that's the week he doesn't do well, right? But Jacoby Myers has been pretty consistent.
He's been good. So I'm starting him. I think for floor, I think he can get you 12 for sure. But I think on a good week he'll get you around 18. So I think for a good flex or wide receiver 2, if you're down bad, go for it. And then Paris Campbell, also receiver. They're going against the Steelers this week. The Steelers give up the most points to wide receivers in fantasy. And the last time that he went up against a terrible secondary, he had 23 PPR points. So I think that's a start.
Yeah.
And he's been Matt Ryan's favorite target.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy for Pittman right now. Dude, I've been needing a good game from him, bro.
Yeah. I think for me, one of my sleepers to start is Chris Olave. I picked him up just because I loved him at Ohio State. I thought he was great. And as a rookie, having your lowest game be 7 points, which I don't think he played week 6. I think he might have been injured that week against Cincy. But other than that, having 7 points be your lowest as a rookie, and you only have 3 touchdowns. So it's not you're just getting touchdowns and no receptions. Look at week 3, he was 9 receptions off of 13 targets, 147 yards, like as a rookie, he's just a very, very reliable person, averaging above 10 points this year. I think he's a pretty good. I mean, you can call him a sleeper. I would consider him like wide receiver 2 or a flex if you're kind of depending where you are, especially hitting bye weeks and all that. But I think he's pretty solid. I think Andy Dalton loves him too, and I think he's a pretty good one of my like sleepers to start.
If you went RB, if your draft mentality was RB for like running back first, I think he's a solid option for you because there's only so many really good wide receivers right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I do think though he's like a solid wide receiver too.
Oh yeah,
he's getting what, like maybe 16, 17 a game.
Yeah, I think I put him in the flex because I'm starting like last week I started Thielen, who's like a dud last week, but then also like Jordan Palmer. So I think
I'm starting him over Thielen every week.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like the best wide receiver rookie or rookie wide receiver? You think he's up there?
I go Olave.
Yeah,
I think the most consistent over this entire year is probably Olave. I mean, Watson's like coming in there now just because he's like dumped 5 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks. But
Drake London's playing well.
Yeah, so
Yeah, sure, but I would honestly take Christian Watson over Drake London.
Yeah, I go Olave, Watson, London.
Yeah.
Dude, these wide receivers are not like comparable to the previous ones, like Jamar Chase rookie season and some of the
I think they're a lot
That's
different receivers. Like you look at like Christian Watson and you look at Olave, like they're a lot like smaller of
And
receivers.
you're also getting like
they're almost slot style receivers. Like
they're also not put into very good systems for them. Like you're getting Joe Burrow for him, right? Or like Kirk Cousins for Jay Jettas.
I mean, Kirk Cousins not that good.
I'd say he's solid.
I'd say he's solid, but he's not.
Okay, but I'm not taking. You give me Kirk Cousins or Andy Dalton or Jameis Winston, I'm taking Kirk 10 times.
Yeah,
for sure.
Except on Monday nights or any prime time.
Any prime time.
Okay, so rapid fire player versus player comparison. Touched on it earlier, but we're in Tony Pollard this week. Just see how good you guys think he is. All right, so first one's Tony Pollard against Alvin Kamara.
I'm going Pollard, dude.
This year, I'll go Pollard.
I think I would still go Kamara.
Kamara for sure.
He's kind of inconsistent.
He is. So Pollard, Kamara.
Yeah.
Okay. Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
Definitely Dalvin Cook.
Me too.
Especially in that Vikings team.
It's about to get hard after this one, but Joe Mixon.
That's what she said.
I go Joe Mixon.
Mixon.
I think Pollard over Mixon, like
This year
go O-line to O-line.
This is recency bias, dude.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm taking Joe Mixon because I do know just this year their run game has been pretty weird. Okay, but I feel like now Pollard's about to be taking a lot more. I have Miles Sanders.
Oh,
I might go Pollard.
I go Pollard.
yeah, Pollard.
I want to see them play each other. I'd probably take Pollard.
I think they're both really good. I think Sanders is a very, very efficient running back. They just don't use him well enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I think you just have different styles of quarterback that run. Like Jalen Hurts would be more.
Jalen Hurts is such a ball hog.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones.
Pollard.
Nah, I'll take Aaron Jones.
I knew it.
I think Aaron Jones is a little more dynamic.
Okay. I think right now I'm gonna go Pollard, but obviously that's like I think Pollard is just very, very dynamic right now. So
Yeah, I'd say right now Pollard, but I think Aaron Jones is far more talented.
and then we got another young one. I guess comparable to Pollard. Dameon Pierce.
Oh, I really like Pierce.
Same.
I say Pierce.
Really?
He's carrying the Texans.
I think Pierce is good, but I'm gonna go Pollard.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say I think if you plug Pollard into them, like in the Texans, I think Pollard would make a bigger difference.
Fair.
I think Pollard
they'd have
would.
like similar impact though. I'll go Pollard.
Pollard.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Jamal Williams.
We'll go Pollard.
I
I
think.
think they're different styles.
Yeah, they are.
Jamal is much more of a just power back.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Pollard because if you need to run a team, I think Pollard would be that guy. Jamal's like a good option, you know.
Jamal would be a great second RB2 to him.
Yeah, facts.
The third down back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Good
As much as I love Jamal, it's Pollard.
Yeah, I gotta take Pollard.
I feel like this one's a little more even. DeAndre Swift. They more similar in terms of like styles.
I'd say DeAndre Swift.
I think DeAndre Swift has a much higher ceiling.
Yeah, I go Swift too.
Yeah, I would also go Swift. I think, but for me, it's like not that big a difference. Like I think Swift's really good, but just by recency bias, obviously we were talking about earlier. I think he's been kind of his stats are taking a hit because of Jamal Williams. Last one is Josh Jacobs.
I'm taking Josh Jacobs.
I'm going Pollard because Jacobs doesn't really like receive anything. He just runs.
He's had a really
I
good
love
season.
Josh Jacobs. I'm taking Josh Jacobs over Pollard.
Okay. Nice. I will take Pollard actually, but I'm gonna take Josh Jacobs actually. Every time I watch him, he's just really dominant. So
No, he's crazy.
yeah. So I think you guys didn't get a chance to take a look at the PrizePicks plays for sportsbooks, but you have some, I have some. We'll just go into that real quick. I was 1-4 last week. Some pretty weird games to talk about that, but anyways, this week I have Justin Herbert over 275.5 pass yards. Because the Arizona defense is bottom 3 in pass yards allowed per game, they're just not good. You saw them struggle yesterday.
Yeah.
It's pretty. They got stomped, and Herbert seems to be, playing a lot better after he is like going. He put up a lot against KC, so I like what I was seeing. Kelsey over 79.5 receiving yards. He's coming off a game where he got 3 touchdowns. He's setting records all over the place, and he's playing just out of his mind in general. So I think he's hit this in all of the last 5 games. I don't think this is one where it stops him. And then lastly, I have Miles Sanders over 0.5 total touchdowns. He's coming off 2 games without one, and prior to that, he had a ton in his 5 games prior. So I think he'll be back this week.
All right, for me, I have Zeke. I think he's gonna be under 46.5 rush yards going against the Giants on Thanksgiving. Honestly, he's just been pretty inefficient, kind of old man vibes right now. And I think Pollard's going to take the shine. Dak Prescott, I think he's going to go over 11.5 rush yards. He got some legs on him. He'd be doing some, pre-game exercises and stuff. So 11 is not too much. So I think it's possible.
Okay, sounds good. And now we're gonna hop into. I'll do my Thursday night games. I guess all Thursday Thanksgiving Day games on TikTok. That'll be a little bit more fun. I like the games we actually have this week. But now, kind of before you have to go, I want to talk about the NBA a little bit. Klay Thompson, 41-point game. I know all you guys like the Warriors. Actually, I don't know.
I root for him. I'm a Kings fan.
Yeah. Happy? Are you guys happy for him? Do you guys think, is it time the Warriors have to trade Klay, Dre, or a future first-round draft pick for a different player?
Well, of course we're happy. I think it's 41 points. Good to see. Maybe there's some life still in this team. I don't think we would trade them though, or I wouldn't, because these 3 people are the core parts of what makes the Warriors Warriors. Steph and Klay as a backcourt. I don't know who else. I mean, I guess you could put Jordan Poole in there, but then he wouldn't have the defense aspect that Klay has. So it's just, they just start being another team.
I mean, Klay and Steph went off, but then they barely beat the Rockets.
Yeah.
So even though they are he had a great stat line, so did Steph. They're still needing that to barely beat the Rockets is still concerning.
Yeah, the Rockets are not a good team.
So Warriors for sure need to make a move before deadline if they want to make any especially in the West, if they want to make any impact on the West, they have to make a move. But I don't think Klay's playing very well at all. I think Draymond's actually having a decent year right now, but the Warriors aren't going to trade him just because of their loyalty to them.
Yeah, I think for me it's just so confusing because you see the Warriors every year that they've been good, you never have them go off and then the rest of the team's a dud. I've never seen Curry scoring 50% of their points in some games, but almost to that, and them losing still by 15, 20 points. It's just it's just not how the Warriors have been made up. Their strength in numbers from day one. It's just so confusing to me.
They're especially right now, we're very much stuck in 2 phases. So they still want to win now, but then now we have too many young guys that we're trying to develop, and it's just not working out right now.
That's true. It looks very hard for them to mesh at all.
They're kind of if you compare almost kind of Packers in some ways. It's kind of you have those old heads, and then it's all these young guys, and it's kind of people don't keep up. So you think they'll blend in, but it's hard.
Yeah, low-key, I think as much as it pains me to say, I don't think Warriors are gonna figure it out this year, and they could miss playoffs, bro.
What would you trade them?
I don't think they're gonna make a big trade.
Oh.
That's the thing. They're if anything, they trade their young talent and picks
Really?
for somebody.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can see them
I
trade.
But
I see a pick.
I don't think they should either, because I think it's you're not gonna be win now mode.
And they're good young guys. Like if you trade for picks, or you can trade an older guy for picks, I just don't see the benefit.
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna add another young guy in there.
Mhm.
Unless you trade up for one to get a.
Unless you're trading for Giannis.
They're obviously not going to be able to get it, right? Yuta, you guys have been seeing him. He's shooting 57.1% from three. Any reactions like?
Baller.
Yeah, I'm just happy that like there's some representation, you know.
Yeah.
This guy's balling right now.
Yeah.
Like to be fair, I did not see this coming.
Neither.
But he looks hella like comfortable out there. It looks fun. And then I guess any reaction? Like, did you guys know of him prior?
He's on the Raptors, right?
Yeah.
I remember like seeing it, but like I always thought he was just like a, I don't know, just kind of a bench role.
Yeah,
like I never really saw him in this, and then like honestly, I just saw him like tearing up from three, and then I remember they asked like KD like, who are you gonna take in a 3-point contest? Like Steph, him, or and then he's like, oh, I'll take myself. But yeah, it's just crazy. I think he's carrying that team in some ways. So
He's leading the league in 3-point
Yeah.
percentage. He's the one who got dunked on by Anthony.
Yeah.
That was a ball in the face. Yeah, I mean he's playing well, playing that his role, just like you'd want him to. So
I've seen a lot more like videos of him recently too. And I guess this is the reason why like he's balling out.
it's also because KD kind of like called out the rest of the team.
Yeah, that was
whack.
Yeah, he's like, what am I supposed to do to carry these guys?
Yeah. But like ever since he did that, they've been playing better. So
Who's the best backcourt in the game right now? What do you guys think?
I think Devin Booker and Chris Paul. I saw a stat
I
line.
hate Chris Paul.
Why do you hate him?
hit it just since he's on the Clippers, man.
Well, I think I saw a stat where when Chris Paul was out of the lineup, the Suns were just like booty cheeks. So like
Suns are always booty cheeks.
they're like top something in
they're playing well.
Yeah,
just
in the
kidding.
power rankings.
I'm just not a fan.
Why?
I don't know. I've always been a Chris Paul hater. Like even
He's a complainer.
yeah,
he is.
and like
It's annoying.
I don't know. You everybody's got those players that like they aren't too big a fan of. Like I'm not.
Carl Anthony Towns for me.
For me, it's like I can never root for Chris Paul or James Harden.
Oh, my guy's Rudy Gobert. I absolutely hate the dude.
Wait, I want to hear your explanations for all this.
He just looks like
He looks like.
No. I'll say this. He's always been like the way he was been rated like so high for me. Like I feel like he's a good defensive player, but I feel like you could just stick any dude that's his size on the defensive side, and I think they could make a similar impact defensively. I don't think it carries for him to be offensively as strong. Where you need to be both of those to be like. How many draft picks did they get for him? Trading him?
Too many.
Like way too many. Like for me, but I just feel like for me, I love like two-way players, and I just feel like he's not as strong of a two-way player as they kind of make him out to be.
No, I agree with that. I hate Rudy. Like I don't think he deserved those depoys when he got them. I think. Did he steal one from Dre one year? But I think Dre was also hurt for the second half. But I don't think he should have been depoy. I think just because of his height and length, he's a defensive presence, but that doesn't make him a good defender. He gets exposed in pick and rolls. And then I also hate Karl Anthony Towns. So now,
You just hate the
he's
Minnesota
soft.
now, yeah.
He's soft. So now Minnesota's just terrible for me.
Remember that Rudy Gobert like situation where he was like
Touching
spreading
the
COVID?
The COVID stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that made people hate him a lot.
Yeah.
But I think best backcourt right now is Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to bet against the Celtics right now, so I think you can put them almost like top line for anywhere, but I'll take Celtics. I love the Celtics.
Does that mean Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown though?
No, he's saying Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Right?
Yeah,
But that's not a backcourt.
Yeah. I mean,
One of them's like small forward, right?
yeah, Jason Tatum.
yeah. But I mean, you go back.
All right.
I think he's shooting like Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Dude, I asked for an explanation, and they said it just rhymed with the league.
It rhymed, yeah.
I was like, okay, fine.
I didn't even see
It's in
that.
the
I need to go
Paris,
stop.
Yeah.
One that I like, obviously depends where you put DeMar at. If he's like what position he's playing, but I like DeMar and Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think they're the best. I would also go with yours right now, just by how they're playing this year.
Yeah.
But that's one like I like watching, and they're always up there, right? And then before we get into our own power rankings and the first player, I want to see who do you guys think is an early choice to win in right now?
Wait, also, we're sleeping on Trae Young and DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
But
He's a good addition.
Yeah.
I didn't think they would work as well as they are right now.
No choice to win it all.
I think Boston.
I think right now I do have them at my number one for power ranking, but I think the Bucks would be my choice.
Bucks are like a kind of safe choice too. I feel like Dallas could be up there. I feel like Dallas could be a big
I
contender in
hope,
the
bro.
West. Like I really want to see them come out of the West. Like I mean, you look out of the West. If you have the Warriors playing how they are now, it makes it a much.
But
much
Dallas
easier.
isn't even in the playoffs right now. They're not top 8. They're 9th seed in the West.
I know, but I'm saying like you still have the whole like second half of the season. to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying it's hard to bet against.
The Jazz
We
are
could,
still like going crazy too. Like
Yeah.
people think like they would slow down.
No, they will.
We still have the second half of the season.
They
Again, we still-
they
still slow
can.
down.
Like, I like it.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you like when teams are like really surprising. That's why I like football right now, because there's so many teams that you just don't expect to like give up a chance. And, like there's so many close games now. But having Utah there, it's like always like, hey, like I do not expect you to give them a run for their money, but that you will, right? But for me, it's Boston. You have the Bucks.
I'll go Boston.
Yeah, I mean they're. I don't know. I really like their backcourt as well.
Mhm.
And then Horford's also playing really well.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Boston's been a
Changes
good
it.
playoff team for a while.
true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And then top 10 power rankings. I have Boston, Milwaukee, Utah's up here again, Phoenix, Dallas, Portland, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Denver, and then Atlanta with those two.
I have Boston, Milwaukee, Jazz. They're still going crazy as I mentioned earlier. Trailblazers, Suns, Nuggets, Cavs, Sixers, Mavericks, and this one's probably a hotter take, but the Kings.
There we go. Somebody had to put them in top 10.
Yeah.
Had to put them in top 10.
King of recency bias. Yeah. King of recency bias. Alright, I'm going.
Hey, when they win the finals,
yeah.
Hey,
we're gonna
go
also-
look at the last like 8 teams the Kings have played. Look at
Hey,
it. Look at it.
Go look at the next 8 games they win.
Look
They
at
will
their
not.
last
They will
game.
not.
Alright, so I got Celtics, Bucks, Jazz, Suns, Cavs, Nuggets, Hawks, Clippers with Kawhi. I think they can definitely go to top 5 with Kawhi. Grizzlies, they're struggling a little bit right now though. And then Mavericks, I think they can make a comeback. Lucas is playing absurd.
Yeah, I kick it off Boston again, then I go Jazz, then the Bucks. I think I like the Bucks. I mean, I just can never bet against Giannis. I just feel like they're like. For me, it's like the Patriots with Tom Brady. Like I just feel like they're always going to be a contender up there. Then I go Trailblazers, then Suns. Got to put Mavericks.
I was thinking too, like, obviously I want to say Boston is my early prediction, but
Depends on his
the
injury,
fact
but-
that Chris Middleton isn't even playing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah,
The year they lost last year. Middleton was out last playoffs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's when they lost. Yeah,
Dude, in
To
playoffs,
Boston, yeah.
that guy's prime MJ.
yeah.
he's Kobe. He's Kobe.
Yeah.
He actually goes
Then
crazy.
I'd say Sixers, then Cavs, then I gotta put the Kings.
Okay.
Gotta put the Kings. In there.
Fair.
I do have to go now, but
Okay.
before I go, I just want to say I beat this guy in
Oh,
fantasy.
yeah.
By like 30 points last week, and he was talking mad shit.
Yeah, we have-
That's why he's quiet now.
Episode 6, we had both of these guys on, and they were talking there.
Maybe do like a little flashback.
Yeah.
Gray filter.
My team
With
had
the-
a
with the score?
stinker, bro. My team had a stinker.
Cordero Patterson with 3 points or
Yeah,
something.
and I benched CD.
Okay, man.
So that was 30
Appreciate
points
it.
on the bench right there.
Justin just dipped, but we are going to finish off with some of our last part of the NBA and then hop into MLB, right?
Yeah.
For our rapid fire player, I have SGA this week because everybody's been talking about how good he is.
Going crazy.
Does he deserve to be a top shooting guard in the league, right? Or like ranked up there?
Like top 10 kind of thing?
I think he is top 10 already.
I feel like he's been carrying the Thunder through like.
by a long shot.
His-
No, I'm saying like over the past couple
Absurd.
years of like when they've been in like, oh, we're gonna tank mode. Like he just doesn't let them in some
Yeah.
ways. Like
Nah, he's balling.
he's pretty great.
All right, so we're gonna start obviously with the the easier ones, and then it'll get a little harder. So Devin Booker,
Debo.
What do we?
SGA.
Oh, like is he better?
Yeah,
Like,
who
who's
you
better?
think?
Oh, Devin Booker.
Okay, Paul George.
Paul George.
Paul George.
Yeah.
maybe.
Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine.
Yeah. Okay, Donovan Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Okay, here's where I think you actually gotta start thinking a little bit. Bradley Beal.
I still gotta take Beal.
Really? I'm thinking SGA for sure.
SGA is a better playmaker,
Oh.
but
Beal's
I still like
experience.
Bradley Beal better.
Okay.
Is the leader.
and then Klay. I'm taking SGA right now. I love
Right
Klay.
now, you got to take SGA.
Yeah.
But
Anthony Edwards,
SGA.
Jalen Brown. Oh, sorry,
Edwards. That's a tough one.
No way.
I
I thought SGA has a long shot on that one. Like, I don't think Edwards is bad, but I think SGA is playing out of his mind right now.
I feel like ceiling, I still feel like Edwards has a higher ceiling, but I would take SGA.
Okay. And then Jalen Brown.
I'll take Jalen Brown.
I'm taking Jalen Brown only because he's producing and putting up very high numbers as a number 2 option.
And a fantastic two-way player.
Right.
Yeah, I would take Brown too.
Okay.
That's tough. That is a tough one though.
Yeah.
They're very comparable actually. The more I think about it, they're very comparable players.
Yeah.
I feel like.
It'd be like that. So for the MLB, only a couple things. Obviously, free agency right now in the off season. But if you guys got to see Serge Ibaka's podcast, he interviewed Alek Manoah, and
So foul.
What
is this?
I don't know if you followed, but he called out Gerrit Cole for being the biggest cheater.
Yeah.
Basically going into the fact that he uses a lot of sticky stuff. And, every way a pitcher would cheat is what he said. I mean, not what he said, but he basically alluded to it. I think it's funny that you just take a shot like that. But I don't know. What do you think?
for me, it's like a classic thing in sports. I say it's always the salty guys are always going to call out the team that beats them. It's like, I'm sorry, the Blue Jays just love to like, the Yankees are just like, they're just consumed by the Yankees because the Yankees own them. And it's just, I don't know, it's just like for me, I just hate when guys do it because he's essentially baseless. I would say it's not like there's been like rumors about it and then he's coming out and saying it. Like it's kind of just baseless. Like I'm sorry, like guy that's easily I'd say one of the best pitchers over the last decade in the MLB is just kind of. I just think it's so foul to say it, but it's also saying it as a Yankees fan. But
yeah, I mean, Gerrit Cole has problems with a lot of guys, right? So I can't say like this was never expected, but coming from Alek Manoah, where I haven't heard him talk too much, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. But last thing, basically for the entire podcast, looking ahead to next season, right? So they're banning infield shifts.
Yeah.
Good or bad? Do you think? Obviously
good.
Right?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's just like sure from a defensive side, like it's worked a lot, but I think it's so. I don't know. I think it's just so bad for the game. I'm glad it's going. I'm glad it's going.
Wait,
and
fill me in.
So like how in baseball you have like your third baseman, shortstop, second baseman. So like there's guys that will always pull the ball. So like typically say a left-handed big guy like they always pull it. So that's it. So what they do is they shift it. Or these guys go and play basically short in the outfield. So you have like everybody stacked on the one side of the field.
Gotcha.
You maybe have one guy here. Sometimes this guy's playing over at second base.
Right.
So they're eliminating it where they cannot shift anymore and they have to play their proper like position.
So basically, like the entire defense is like moving, and it shows like it affects the game because there's a lot more guys who are like get ground outs because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of my head, I can't tell you who the number one player is who gets grounded out the most, but I think it's more fair. Because I mean, yeah, it's an advantage because it's too predictable that someone always pulls, but it would be nice to like not see that because you rarely see those guys actually hit against a shift.
Yeah. One of the things I haven't really gotten my head around is how guys haven't adjusted to it too. It's like learning to hit more opposite field, but it is what it is. I'm glad it's going. Yeah, I don't think it's.
How do you regulate that though? I feel like that's a little tricky.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, I just play shortstop in this position.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked how they're really defining it. They probably have some sort of standard of where players have to
zone kind of thing.
Yeah, I think another thing it does too is it slows down the game so much.
Yeah,
it's like these guys are shifting over here and they're shifting back, and it's just something fans have always complained about. Is baseball's so slow. So I think it's good for the game.
Where do you? Or I guess I'll ask the question later, but Yankees did check up on Jacob deGrom.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So that made the Mets have a backup in Verlander. So I can't see Verlander going to the Mets for some reason. And then Aaron Judge met with the Giants, which would obviously be really cool for you guys.
I'd love to see it.
I've never been to a Giants game, but I feel like it would be cool to see.
You got to go. Is it Foodie, man? And
yeah.
I was like, dude loves it. You got to go.
I'm never in SF though.
Get some Gary Deli.
Yeah.
Dude, for real. But with that being said, the Cubs are our favorites to land in right now.
To who? Lane Judge?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I was researching. I was like, what an interesting spot.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
people still say LA. I mean, like the Dodgers.
Do they have cap for that?
The Dodgers have like unlimited.
They have a lot. Because it's a big market, right? So like There's no salary cap in baseball.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually?
you go into luxury tax
Oh,
for
okay,
it.
so
So I think the biggest thing the Dodgers potentially is they have Trey Turner, and if they lose him,
They will lose him.
they'll and Bellinger, they're potentially lose, or they already
They have it.
yeah, but they didn't re-sign him.
Yeah.
So basically they would shift guys around. I don't think Judge would pick the Dodgers.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
go there.
so here's my prediction, right? I think so. Cody Bellinger came out and said he wants to sign a 1-year deal. I think he leaves.
Yeah.
I think Trey Turner leaves. So I think you're keeping Freeman, Mookie, and then if you do land Judge, you could work with that.
Yeah.
But and obviously I still think that's a stronger team than you have this year. But I don't know. I don't think he goes to LA.
Yeah, no, for me, like as a Yankees fan, I'd love for him to stay. Like I really, really want him to stay, and I still feel like he will stay. If he goes anywhere, I think I would want him to go to San Francisco.
Are you happy Rizzo resigned?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And I think I've loved Rizzo since he was on the Cubs too. I think he's
Yeah.
a very reliable hitter and fielder and all that stuff.
I've been trying to get a Cubs Rizzo jersey, but
They're
we'll
fine.
see.
Why is he possibly thinking about leaving? Just because they were fucking booing him in the playoffs?
No.
No,
So
it was way before that.
So
Really?
it was the season before he didn't sign their extension request. So basically, like that would have like kept him in for X amount of time, huge lump sum of money. So he basically bet on himself. Like,
Yeah.
basically, and then he came out and had an MVP
Yeah.
year, right? So basically now he's getting like pick of the world,
Mhm.
top line money. He's going to be breaking all the records for that. So that's why people are saying he's potentially thinking about leaving because he didn't resign,
Gotcha.
and he's from. He went to Fresno State. He's from the Bay,
Oh.
extended, so like mid Central California. So that's kind of why it's like he grew up a Giants fan, kind of that similar phenomenon there.
Yeah.
So.
Giants World Series champs, baby.
Yeah,
Oh God.
I would love to see him there. The Giants need somebody that's like the face of the team. Like they lost
Probably.
Posey, they lost all that. Like people don't have that same guy that people go out to see like every time they go.
You don't hear him. I'm so excited to watch Jock Peterson.
Yeah, or like
We got Brandon Crawford.
Yeah.
He's older too. So he's just not.
Like,
the
I would
same.
never go out of my way to watch a Giants game.
Yeah.
But like if Judge is there, I'm
They're
going.
always fun though.
If Judge is there, that fan attendance will be huge.
Facts. And then last question: where are these players going? So I'm going to just list them, and then you tell me your opinion.
Yeah.
Justin Verlander
Staying.
I agree. I think a lot of these, two of these guys are staying. Xander Bogart.
I think he's still staying with the Red Sox.
Agreed. You have any?
I don't
know. And then Cody Bellinger. I think he dips, but
I think he dips. I haven't really seen like huge talks of like potentially where he could go. I feel like he could land in Texas.
Come to the
Like
Giants.
go
baby.
to the Rangers.
Bellinger and he's the pitcher, yeah.
No. Bellinger's
Ah.
that's Kershaw.
Ah.
Bellinger's the like plays outfield,
Oh,
center field, right field.
Never mind.
I feel like I could see Bellinger going to Texas somewhat, like the Rangers, something like that. They've been really seeking guys. I think Giants are more going after like Trey Turner. He'd be much more of an asset. Bellinger, they kind of have Giants in the outfield. Not like they need him as much. I feel
They
like
need a fucking pitcher, dude.
who?
Giants.
They could have got Tyler Anderson, but he's on the Angels now.
Yeah, Gio Urshela went to the Angels too, former Yankee. I think Bellinger leaves though,
Yeah, I agree.
especially if they're trying to make moves to get Judge, which I hope like that'd be so bad for the
Kill
sport.
baseball.
Like it'd be so bad for the sport.
Facts. But yeah, that's all I had. Obviously, we said thank you to Justin while he was here. Thank you to Sunny and Nathan.
Do we get World Cup predictions? Can we just?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm not into soccer. I'm like not very much into soccer. I know you guys are.
Yeah.
So go ahead and put yours, and then I'll say mine after. But it's like the most biased.
Yeah, no, I'll take Brazil. I mean they're like absolutely the mecca of it. Just you look at their bench is better than most other teams, international teams. So I take Brazil. Again, like people have really put Argentina as favorite. They lost to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia this morning. Fat L. But I think, yeah, I'm gonna take Brazil. I hope the U.S. gets out of the group stage. I was really disappointing loss yesterday for me. I was really mad about.
Wait,
that.
they tied.
It's tied, but still.
Yeah, but like it's still a loss in
That-
my book because like that was their one game where they can take a tie.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get a win, you almost lock yourself to go into
Yeah.
the group stage.
And
'Cause
they could have won that shit. Yeah.
I think it was terrible reffing too.
My stupid ass. I think Argentina, but they lost, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like if you talk to me about soccer, I like Messi. That's it.
Oh, no, absolutely.
No, the thing is, so I was watching the game like at 3 a.m.
Okay, yeah.
At like 2, 3 a.m.
Oh yeah.
And
I saw
then
that.
it was just like Argentina was playing so casual, so relaxed. Like they were not taking that game serious.
Yeah.
And then it's a bit of the butt. But shout out Tyrese Halliburton. Shout out Saudi Arabia. Shout out Kevon Looney.
There you go.
You got any?
Oh, and also I'm locking in on Brazil too.
Shout out Noah Faber.
There you go. Yeah, no favor.
We'll
Gotta
get
pay
into
you.
it. Yes, sir. But yeah, thank you. We will obviously. I think I like that. I think it was fun to let you guys.
Absolutely.
That's fun.
Well, good time.
We will get one other guy in here soon. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching.
Appreciate you.
All right.